Hello, everybody. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to me today. If you're on this early, as always, give me a hashtag replay. I really do appreciate it when you let me know you're listening. So I am traveling today, so I'm out of my element a little bit. I'm at this a beautiful hotel. My team and I are actually having a business meeting today, so I'm not traveling very far, but we are staying at this amazing hotel so we can have a meeting later on today so we can figure out how we can better serve all of you out there for 2022. So, for those of you who are new to my channel and my Facebook page, my name is Evelyn Knight. I am the host of the Child Care Business Coach podcast, and I am the founder and CEO of Child Care Business Professionals, which is a company that helps owners and directors find success in early childhood education. My goal is really just to bring more love to the children. That is my ultimate goal and why I started Child Care Business Professionals. I am a center owner as well. And so it is really important to me just to bring that high quality love to more children, as many as I possibly can. So that is why I started the second company and why I'm expanding, and so we can just bring more to all of you out there. But today we have some fun things to talk about. It is the Monday before Christmas. Last weekend, this one that we're coming out of is the Christmas. It's that weekend right before we go into Christmas. So now we are about to head in to the Christmas season and really just take off running, right? This is it. Our weekend's over. I hope you guys got the last minute shopping done. I have a couple things I need to pick up, but other than that, I'm pretty much done and ready to go. So I hope you guys are all ready as well. Let me know, how is it going? Do you guys have any last minute shopping? Are you ready? Are you done? Let me know in the comments how it's going right now. But and hopefully you guys enjoy and love Christmas like I do. That's really what I want to talk about today, is that absolute just joy of Christmas for the children, and also the self-care that you need during this season. Years ago, I really got just tired of the hustle and bustle of Christmas. And I realized that this is not what it was ever meant to be. It's not meant to be, family fighting over whose family are you going to be staying with this year? What are you going, where are you going to be? That isn't what it was ever meant to be. It's not about how much money you spend or how much debt you go into, right? And so when my oldest son was, I don't even remember, he was probably an infant. I just decided this is not going to be Christmas for my family. I'm not going to go into debt. I'm not going to figure out whose family is going to fight over us. I'm not going to let it become this frenzy. So I decided to set up some boundaries very early on in my life. And I cannot even tell you guys, for my mental health, how much this has helped me. So when the season comes around, I still love Christmas. I love it. Is it crazy? Yes, it is. But because of the boundaries I set up from a young age when my family was still young, we were able to enjoy Christmas to its fullest and also go through it without it really bankrupting us. So I'll tell you the boundary I set. I basically went to my family and told them that Christmas is going to be about my family. And that was it, just the four of us. And I basically just decided to make it just that, where I told my sisters and my brother, like, don't worry about buying my children gifts. We can do family gifts for each other, but we're not going to do every individual niece and nephew and everything gifts. And we're not going to go into debt over Christmas. The other thing I really wanted to get to them is that I wanted it to be about family time and about my children and just us. So I told them that this was going to be how Christmas Day was always going to be. If we wanted to do some kind of maybe dinner a week before, or actually traditionally what we end up doing is New Year's Eve, we all get together. But I told them it's just going to be about the four of us. So that has always been our tradition. Christmas Eve, we go to church, and that's basically the last time we leave our house until the day after Christmas. And that is it. I make a huge brunch for my family in the morning. I love to cook and bake. So I spend the day just kind of cooking, baking, doing what I love to do. And my kids just get to play with what they got for Christmas, and we watch movies together. But Christmas is all about family time, and that's it. And that's probably why I still love it till this day, because I've been able to cherish and not make it so stressful. So I want you to really go into this time thinking about the stress of Christmas. School's out for 2 weeks. Many of our programs are very, very slow at this time. We don't have a whole lot of children. So, this is a great time for you to focus on resting, focus on taking care of yourself. Close out the year energized. Don't worry about the work. The work is always there. The work is always there, right? There's always an emergency, there's always a fire to put out. It's not going to go away. You don't have to get it done this week or next week. You can take time to just really recuperate your mind, your body, and your soul. So give yourself that gift for Christmas. Just really focus on resting. And the fact that right now, after Christmas is over, we go through that lull, right? Where it's very quiet for that 1 week. Take advantage of that time. So many of us instinctually think, oh, it's going to be quiet. I can catch up on this and this and this. And then you're in this frenzy, right? And you're just trying to get all the things done, and you never really took a break. So, what I'm here to tell you guys is there's always going to be more work that needs to be done. It never goes away. Even if you get the pile on your desk done, another pile is just going to be created. So take the time, take advantage of the slow time of year, and just be with your family. For those of you who've been watching me, you know what last year was like for me, or this year. I'm already done. I'm already done with 2021. I'm already in 2022 mentally. But, I lost my husband. And I'm here to tell you guys that you don't know how quickly your family is going to be gone. You have no idea how fast and how life changes, right? Today, you can be with your family, everything is normal, and next year it could all be gone. You just don't know. So don't get caught up in the frenzy of day to day. It's not worth it. The frenzy will always be there. Your family will not. Those children in your child care center will not. They will not. They need us. They need that time and attention. They need us to put aside our work every now and then and just show them love. That's really what they need, right? So this Christmas, give yourself that gift of just relaxing and be with your family. When you give yourself those kind of gifts, you actually will show up better, more productive, and more focused. But when you're exhausted and stressed out and burnt out, you cannot show up as the best version of yourself, right? So really watch yourself in that and really just take that time to decompress, do what you need to do. The work will always be there. It is always going to be there. So that is just the first message I want to give you guys for this message before Christmas. Just be present. We often, and one of my biggest flaws in life is that I always live in the future. I'm always thinking about, well, next week. But I have a very hard time just being present, right? Just being in the moment, being in today. My mind is always planning, always thinking about, like, if I do this, and this. I'm constantly strategizing, constantly planning in every aspect of my life. I'm constantly just in this strategic mode. The problem with that is you miss the moments you're in right now. When you're constantly in these strategizing and planning modes, which so many of us leaders are, you miss the moment that you live in right now. Your children are growing up, right? The children in your center are just growing up. I mean, if you're like me, you can run into town and run into one of the children that used to be in your center who's now about to go to college. I actually just had one of my babies from years ago come back from college and a college graduate. And that's what we just don't always think about today. We're always in this frenzy to make sure tomorrow is okay, that we forget to live in today. And next thing you know, the people that are in your life today, they're gone. They're not there anymore. So give yourself the gift of rest and being present this Christmas. Make sure that you savor those people in your life and that you don't take them for granted. It's just vital. The next thing that I want to really point out to you guys too is what Christmas is for children. And that's what I titled this whole message. But this morning, I don't know, I woke up with this other thought in my head that I know you leaders out there are working yourself into a frenzy right now. And I really want you to just stop and ask yourself, what is really necessary? What in a year will I even remember that I did? If it's not necessary and it won't matter in a year, take it off your plate. It doesn't need to be done. But the other thing I want to really focus on is remembering the wonder of Christmas for the children. If you really think about the human lifespan, let's say the average person lives around roughly 80 years, right? I can't remember the exact number anymore, but it's around 80 years. During that 80-year period, children have that innocence and that wonder and excitement for about 10 years. 10 years. They're infants, right, for like the first 2 years. So you really have 8 years out of an 80-year lifespan where magic is alive and wonder and just the awe of being a child is in these children's lives. That to me, when I realized that years ago, Christmas became this huge responsibility that just really excites me and makes me happy. And I realized that I needed to make sure that I made Christmas just magical for the children. So because of this, one of the things that I've always made part of my brand promise is that when it is the season from Thanksgiving till New Year's, my childcare centers have to become a magical place. When you walk in, I don't want it to be recognizable. I want the children to walk in and just be like, oh, wow, and just feel that wonder. And the reason I do that is because we as adults so often forget the wonder of childhood. We forget their innocence and that they still see magic. We forget that the magic to them that we've lost, that cynicism in life has stolen from us, we forget that it's still alive for them. And we take that from them too often. So one of the things that I really focus on for my centers is making sure that we bring that magic back to the children. And just think about what you can do to make sure this time of year is magical. So many times the parents and everybody around, they're too stressed. They can't give this to the children, but we can. So I feel like we can give them this gift, right? That just helps them keep magic alive inside of them. If you look at Disney and how successful Disney is as a company, and if you've ever been to a Disneyland versus any other theme park, you know just how amazing it is. And really, it's because they've got creating that magical experience down to a science, right? And that is something we can do too. And that's just being intentional. That's it. How do you decorate the center? What experiences do you plan throughout the season for the children, right? In this next week, even the week after, what kind of experiences are you going to give them to help them just get that magic and wonder of Christmas? When we're with the children, we so often focus on the negative that we forget those wonderful, amazing parts of the season, right? And of their lives, period. We're always looking at the problems we have to deal with, the behavior issues and potty training and the messes that they make and dealing with their parents and billing and the teachers and all the things, right? But we forget that we're dealing with these little people that magic is still alive in because it's gone for us. So think about that. Just really let that sit inside you. How can you make the children's Christmas more magical this year? How can you bring more magic to them? I guarantee you, when you do, when you create these amazing magical experiences. And it doesn't take a lot, you guys. It does not take a lot. It can be something as simple as baking cookies and decorating them with them, right? But adding some kind of fun flair. So when that happens, your teachers will start coming on board also. It just lightens them up. When you help them to see what's going on and not focusing on the stress of it, right? That frenzy and that stress, but instead focusing on the magic and how amazing it can be and creating experiences that everybody can enjoy, right? It really does help just with your employee morale. It'll help with your retention because it's just, you're coming from a place of authenticity and love. And any time that you come from a place of authentic love for the children, you're going to have followers. People are going to follow your lead. They're going to. People who are drawn to children, we're drawn because we love them. But over time, we become callous. After dealing with the day to day, we just become callous and we forget how much we need to love them. So that's really the other most important thing I want to remind you of, that it is our job really to show them that love. And we have such an opportunity to bring that love to them and to show them that love, right? But you can't do that if you're not showing up as the best version of yourself, which is why you need to rest, recuperate, and take care of yourself. That way you can show up and give them the magic that is Christmas. So look around your buildings, look at how much effort, what did you really put into it? What did you really do? And I can guarantee you guys, it is so worth it. Going that extra mile for the children is so worth it. For next year, have a plan. Have a plan in place. Next week, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how we plan for our year. And I'll show you how in January, we're actually going to be like our schedule for the entire year, right? But managerial schedule. This doesn't mean this is when we're going to plan our Christmas play. This means this is the date you guys are going to choose your Christmas plays and start implementing it. This is the date you're going to turn in Mother's Day present requests to me. This is the date that you're going to plan your art projects for the 4th of July, right? And for Christmas, we start in September. We actually start all of our like planning with the children, our Christmas play, they start rehearsing in September. The reason we do that is so that by the time December hits, it's already done. It's done. It's already just calm and happy. And when it is just calm and happy like that, what ends up happening is it's not so stressful for you guys, right? So these extra things, because I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my gosh, she's told me to do more work. But when you plan it out, have a plan ahead of time, and just kind of draw it out, it's not so bad. And you can still deliver that magic of Christmas to your children at your childcare center, your families. You can have a magical Christmas and still love the holiday. But it does take some planning, but it is so worth it. I'm here, in my 40s, and I still love Christmas. I still love to bring the joy to everybody, and I still love to spread it. Even with what I've gone through this year, I still love this holiday so much, and for so many reasons. But that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope everybody has a wonderful Merry Christmas. And let me see, before I sign off, I'll look at some of your comments. Tiffany, one of the best things I did for myself. Yes. So my childcare center does stay open the week after Christmas. The demographic we care for really needs us. But if we could, I would absolutely. My other company, this company that I bring to you these videos on, we do close for that week. That way I can be more present. My families can be more present. And one of the things we do at Zoo, though, since our numbers are so low, we do have the ability to swap, like half our staff can take like the time off this week, and then next week the other half will get time off. So we swap it so they get, just to make sure everybody gets that time during the season. And it's just my gift to them because they deserve it. My staff is amazing. I have an amazing staff that deserves everything I can possibly give them and so much more. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. I will see you guys again next week. And next week, we'll talk about our annual plan and how I create it. And I'll give you guys kind of a bird's eye view of how you can start making your years a lot easier by just having a plan of delegation that'll really take so much off your shoulders. I can't even begin to tell you how much it takes off your shoulders. So have a great, wonderful rest of your Christmas week. And I hope all of you have a wonderful Christmas.